Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you're all well. Welcome. And I know a few people have been waiting, so thank you for joining. Today we are going through June 2020, the paper 3, and what we will be doing is skipping questions that have come in paper 1 and paper 2. So I like to go through exam style questions because they are much more tougher. And just a reminder that live lessons will be taking place every day until paper 3 exam. Okay, so here is question 1. I'll give you a few moments. Off you go. Okay, question 1a, simplify n cubed times n to the power 5. So we can see that we have the same base, so we can just add the powers. So n to the power 3 plus 5, that gives me n to the power 8. Nice, easy start there. Question 1b, worth 2 marks. Okay, 1b, simplify c cubed d to the power 4 all over c squared d. So I've got two things here. I am going to be working on each letter. So work out the c's, and then step 2, work out the d's. So I've got c to the power 3 take away 2, d to the power 4 take away. When we're dividing, we're taking away, and if it's by itself, it's got a power of 1. So we've got 3 take away 2 is 1, so c by itself, and then d 4 take away 1 gives me 3, so c d cubed. Here you go for question 1c. Okay, so we've got question 1c, solve 5x over 2 is greater than 7. So I need to do BIDMAS in reverse. So step 1 is BIDMAS, and then step 2 is reverse. So if I think about it, I've got x, which becomes 5x. So I've multiplied by 5, then I divide by 2 to get 5x over 2. So if I'm going backwards, opposite of divide by 2 is times by 2. Opposite of times by 5 is going to be divide by 5. So I've got 5x over 2 is greater than 7. So opposite of divide by 2 is times by 2 on both sides. This gives me 5x is greater than 7 times 2 is 14. Removing the 5, which means I divide by 5. Divide by 5. X is greater than 14 over 5. Okay, I don't need to simplify. It just says solve. So I have solved it. I can leave it as it is there. Okay, let's do a little tally. So this is summer 2023, the grade boundaries. So for each paper, how many marks you needed as total, and then broken down per paper. So we need 13 marks to get a grade 3. This question is worth 5 marks. So we have banked 5 marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks. Let's keep a tally of how we go. And if you are here for the first time, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel so that you get live notifications of when the live lessons start. So this question 2 is worth 3 marks. I'll give you a few moments. Off you go. Question 2. Andy cycles a distance of 30 kilometers at an average speed of 24 kilometers per hour. He then runs a distance of 12 kilometers at an average speed of 8 kilometers per hour. Work out the total time Andy takes. Give your answer in hours. So we have Andy cycles a distance of 30 kilometers at an average speed of 24 kilometers per hour and a distance of 12 kilometers at an average speed of 8 kilometers per hour. Work out the total time Andy takes. Give your answer in hours and minutes. So there's quite a lot going on here. So because I've got two different things going on, and this topic is speed, distance, time. So the first thing I need to do, step 1, is I need to remember my formula, which is speed equals, I forgot to write time here, speed equals distance divided by time. And from that I can have my triangle, speed, distance, time. And because I've got a lot of information here, I like to use framework. So I'm going to put this in a table format, and then that will help me, if you like, step 3, is fill in the missing gaps. Fill in missing gaps. That will hopefully make it easier for me. And then from there, step 4, I can find hours and minutes. So that's my final check. Okay, so I've got speed, distance, time. Andy cycles a distance of 30 kilometers. So he cycles, if you like. Oops, what's happened here? My light has gone off. Okay, so he cycles 30 kilometers. So that my distance is 30. And at an average speed of 24 kilometers per hour. So 24 kilometers per hour. Next thing I've got is he then runs. So he's running. And it's a distance of 12 kilometers. Let me get my light back on. There we are. He then runs a distance of 12 kilometers at an average speed of 8 kilometers per hour. Work out the total time. So you can see I just need to work out these two, and then that will give me my total time. And so that is so much more easier for me to work out than all of this text, deciphering all of that. So I'm working out time. So if I cover time, I can see I've got distance divided by speed. So time equals distance divided by speed. So time is going to be 30 divided by 24. So calculator paper, let's get our calculators out and put that in there. 30 divided by 24 gives me that. So it's 1.25. Okay, I don't need to worry about units just yet. Just need to put that there. And then the next one, time equals distance divided by speed. So I've got distance is 12 divided by 8. So I can put that into my calculator as well. 12 divided by 8 gives me 1.5. And so now I want my total time. I just add these two together. Total time equals 1.25 plus 1.5. That gives me 2.75. Now this is where I need to worry about my units. So I've done my table, I've filled in my missing gaps, and now I need to work out my hours and minutes. So I've got 2 hours here, so that's quite straightforward. That's going to be 2 hours. And my minutes, so I've got 0.75 hours. How many minutes is that? Well, how many, in 1 hour, how many minutes do we have? It's 60. So all I do, I multiply 0.75 by 60, and that gives me my minutes. So 0.75 times by 60 gives me 45. So 45 minutes. So 2 hours and 45 minutes. Okay, I hope you got that. Let me know in chat if you got that, if you worked that out. That's 3 marks, so let's add that to our tally. 1, 2, 3. So we've banked 8 marks. We are 3 marks away from grade 3 marks away from a grade 3. Also in chat, feel free to message me. How did you find paper 2? Let's look at the next question. Question 3 is a what's it called? Error interval question. Now that's come up in paper 2, and we have been practicing that so many times. So well done if you learned that and you got that right. Let's skip that. Let's go to question 4 now. Question 4 is worth 4 marks. Okay, I'll give you a few moments to do that. Off you go. Okay, if you need more time, then press pause. There's a lot going on in this question. Okay, so question 4. Maisie knows that she needs 3 kilograms of grass seeds to make a rectangular lawn 5 meters by 5 meters. So she needs 3 kilograms of seed to make a rectangular lawn of 5 meters by 9 meters. Grass seed is sold in 2 kilogram boxes. Maisie wants to make a rectangular lawn 10 meters by 14 meters. She has 5 boxes of grass seed. A. Has Maisie got enough grass seed to make a lawn 10 meters by 14 meters? You must show your working out. So first of all, this is a problem-solving question. So there are many ways to solve this. So your method may be different to mine, which is fine. So what as long as you get your final answer correct, that's fine. And this type of question, you can see, has Maisie got enough grass? So we have to show some sort of working out and then a communication mark. So what I am going to do is I am first of all going to try and understand. I'm going to sketch diagrams. Step 1, sketch diagrams. And that's just to kind of get me visualizing what's going on. So I'm going to draw this one here, 5 meters by 9 meters. And so what is this area? I have got, area is going to be 5 times 9, which is 45 meters squared. And then the other one is the bigger one. So a bigger diagram, 10 by 14, 10 meters by 14 meters. So area is going to be 10 times 14, which is 140 meters squared. So I've just drawn a sketch just so that I get an idea. Okay, so I've kind of done the next step here. So I've worked out areas. So that would probably get me a method mark. After that, after I've got my areas, I need to then find out how many 3 kilograms gives me this area. So how many of the small one, what is 1 kilogram? So I need to work out 1 kg, step 3, 1 kg. If I know what 1 kg is, then I can work out how many, so 1 kg gives me an area. So using that 1 kg, I can then work out how many I need for the big area. So step 4 is kgs for big area. And once I've done that, I can see if there's enough. Step 5 is enough boxes, enough grass seed. Okay, so I've got this. So step 1, I've done my areas. Step 2, so 3 kgs. Macy knows that 3 kilograms of grass seed knows that she needs 3 kilograms of grass seed to make a rectangular lawn of 5 by 9. So 5 by 9 makes 45. So 1 kg equals, 3 kg equals 45 meters squared. So now that I know what I have, I can then get to 1 kg, if you like, 1 kg. So I'm dividing by 3. I divide by 3. So 45 divided by 3, get our calculator out, gives us 15. So it's 15 meters squared. So I've got 1 kg is 15 meters squared. Grass is sold in 2 kg boxes. Macy wants to make a rectangular lawn. She has 5 boxes. So how much does 5 boxes give me? So 5 boxes, that is 2, each box is 2. So 2 times 5 gives me 10 kg. So I have got 10 kilograms of grass seed. So now I can see how much I have. So how do I get from this to this? I am multiplying by 10. So I do the same thing here, multiply by 10. So 150 times by 10 is 150 meters squared. So that's how much she has. How much does she need? Macy wants to make a rectangular lawn, this, and the area for that is here. So I know I need this much, and she's got 150. So 150 meters squared is more than 140 meters squared. So kgs for the big area. So I've got the big area, and I can see that I've got more than I need. So step 5, has Macy got enough? The answer is yes. Macy has enough. Macy has enough. Part B. Part B. Macy opens the 5 boxes of grass seed. She finds that 4 of the boxes contain 2 kg grass seed. The other box contains 1 kg of grass seed. Part B. Does this affect whether Macy has enough grass seed to make her lawn? Give a reason for your answer. So when she had 5 boxes, 5, and each box is 2 kg, 5 times 2 gives us 10 kg. That's what we calculated before. Now she's got 4 boxes, which is 2 kg. So 4 times 2 gives me 8 kg. And the other box has 1 kg. So 8 plus 1 equals 9 kg. So 9 kg is what she has. Now we know 1 kg gives 15 meters squared. So 1 kg gives us 15 meters squared. What will 9 kg give us? So we do 9 times 15 equals 2. Use a calculator. 9 times 15. That gives us 135 meters squared. 135, and her area was previously 140. So 135 meters squared is less than 140 meters squared. So does this affect her answer? Yes, this affects does this affect Macy? Yes, this affects Macy. She does not have enough, or does not have enough grass seed. Okay, so I hope that is clear. All right, this question is worth 5 marks. So quite a bit of work there, lots of worded questions there, giving us 5 marks. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks. So we've got 5, 10, 13. We've banked our grade 3. We're 3 marks away from a grade 4. Okay, let's move on. And if you are here for the first time, I know quite a few people have been visiting the channel recently. I am going to be making playlists for predicted paper 3. So just like before, if you click on that, you will be able to see all of the videos that are there. So this is the first one, and then I've got planned lessons every day, so you can be up to date as part of your revision. This will help you. Okay, the next question, question 5, and also if you've just joined, you can get a copy of this exam paper in the description of the video. Okay, question 5. I just want to make sure you know how to do it. I can see a few comments saying it's a bit too easy, but I just, for thoroughness, I want to make sure I cover everything. So let's, I'll give you a few moments to do this question. Okay, question 5. Amanda has two fair three-sided spinners. So you've got spinner A, 1, 2, 3, spinner B, 1, 2, 3. Amanda spins each spinner once. Amanda spins each spinner once. Complete the probability tree diagram. So you can see lands on 2. There's only 1, 2 there. So there's 1, 2 out of 3. So 1, 2 out of 3. And does not land on 2. It's going to be 2 other options, so 2 out of 3. And the same thing for spinner B. We've got 1, 2 out of 3, and then does not land on 2, 2 out of 3. And the same thing for the next one, 1 out of 3, and then 2 out of 3. So that is part A done. Let's go to part B. And if you need more time, press pause. I'm going to make a start on this. So work out the probability that spinner A lands on 2 and spinner B does not land on 2. So there are 2 steps. Step 1 is we're going to list all the outcomes. And then we are going to step 2 is match our question to the outcome. Match question to outcome. Okay, and then we're going to do our working out. Step 3 is to do the calculations. calculate. Okay, so let's continue. So I've got 2 and 2, 2 and then does not land on 2. So I'll just write 2 does not. This is 2 and then does not land on 2, not 2 and then 2. And then the last one we have not 2 and not 2. Okay. And now if I reread my question, the question is saying, work out the probability spinner A lands on 2 and then does not land on 2. So is this 2 and not 2? That does not match the statement. We want 2 and not 2, so this is 2 and does not land. This is does not land and then land, so that's not what we want, and this is not what we want. So there's only one option. So this is going to be 1/3 times by 2/3. 1/3 times by 2/3. 1 times 2 is 2, 3 times 3 is 9. So that's a nice, easy question there. All right. That's another 4 marks banked for that question. Let's add that to our tally. 1, 2, 3, 4 marks. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. So we've banked our grade 4. Well done if you've got that. Let's move on to the next question. Question 6. I'll give you a few moments to do that question. Okay, so question 6. If you need more time, press pause. Question 6, we've got a graph here, 5x take away 9y equals to minus 46. And then we have another line here, y equals to minus 2x. Use these graphs to solve the simultaneous equations here. So this one is really, if you look at this graph, you can see they both cross at this point. So that's all we're doing. And how we do that, coordinates are x and y along the corridor and up the stairs or down the stairs. So here we're going to the left, which is minus 2, and then we're going up to 4. So that's a nice, easy question there, worth 1 mark. So my answer is minus 2, 4. So that's 1 mark. Okay, and then if we look at part B, question 6, part B is actually came up on paper 2, so we're going to skip that. Okay, so let's carry on to the next one. I'll add that to my tally. 1 mark from that question. Let's continue to question 7. I don't think this has come up. If you think it has come up, let me know in chat, but otherwise I think this hasn't come up yet. Question 7, off you go. Okay, a few people have joined the session, so if you are joining, remember to like the video and share it with anyone who you think will benefit. And if you've got people in year 10, then share it with them because they're practicing for their mock exams for year 10. So do share it with them. Let's make a start. Question 7. There is a total of 45 boys and girls in a choir. The mean age of the 18 boys is 16.2 years. The mean age of the 27 girls is 16.7 years. Calculate the mean age of all 45 boys and girls. Okay, so this is a bit tricky. So what we need to do is find, or let's think about what mean is. Mean is you add values. So let's say we've got 4, 5, and 6. You add them together, and then you divide by how many numbers you have. So here we've got 3. So that gives us 5. 4 plus 6 is 10 plus 5 is 15 over 3. And so when you do that, that gives me 5. So we're adding, but what we need to, if we work backwards, if I said, these are probably not the best numbers. Let me change the numbers actually. Let me do, actually let's stick with that. If I were to say the mean is 5, what are the possible values? We'd have to work backwards. So this is what we have to do here a little bit. we want to kind of work out what the total scores are. So here, this 15 is what we need. So I'm going to do, so if we look at this, break it into steps. So step 1 is I need to find out the total for the boys. Total for boys. Step 2 is I need the total for the girls. And then step 3 is I need to divide by my total to find the mean. Divide by total. In this case, it's 45. Okay, so I've got 18 boys, 16.2. So 18 times 16.2. Let's use a calculator, see what we get. Gives us 291.6. And let's do the next one, which is 27 times 16.7. That gives us 450.9. So I've got them, the boys and the girls, and now I just add them together. So I do 291.6 plus 450.9 gives me 742.5. So that's my total. And now I divide the total by 45 because I've got 45. 742. So my mean equals 742.5 divided by 45. That gives me 16.5. So that's a nice little answer there. Okay, so that is worth 3 marks. So let's add that to our tally. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 21 marks. So we ranked grade 4. We are 6 marks away from a grade 5. All right. Question number 8. Did that appear? I don't think this appeared in paper 1 or paper 2. So again, if you think it did appear, just let me know. But I'm going to carry on with this question. This question is worth 3 marks. All right. This topic is very likely to come up. If it hasn't already, I don't think it has. But if it hasn't, then it's very likely to come up in paper 3. I'll give you a few moments. Off you go. And if you need more time, press pause. And when you're ready, press play for the answer. Let me make a start. Question 8. There are some counters in a bag. The counters are blue or green or red or yellow. The table shows the probabilities that a counter taken at random from the bag will be blue or will be green. Okay, so I've got this information, and you can see 2 of them are missing. The probability that a counter taken at random from the bag will be red is 5 times the probability that the counter will be yellow. Okay, there are 300 counters in the bag. Work out the number of yellow counters in the bag. So there's quite a lot going on. To be honest, when you look at this, it's like an essay. I mean, you could just cross this out. You could cross this out. You know, that looks a lot more nicer on the eyes. Even this sentence, you could just cross it out. So all I really need is just to analyze these 3 lines. So that's much, much better. So you can just see I have to analyze this. So the probability that a counter taken at random from the bag will be red is 5 times the probability that it will be yellow. There are 300 counters, and we've got to work out the number of yellow counters. So step 1 is I need to find out this part here, this box, the probability of red and yellow probabilities. Okay, and then step 2 is once I know what actually I have to identify this. So this is probably first. That's identify is first. Then I need to find the probabilities. Okay, so I identify them, then I can find the probabilities, and I'm using the fact that all probabilities add up to 1, they sum to 1. Next thing I have is I work out my probabilities. After I work out the probabilities, I find yellow. So step 3 is I just probability of yellow and multiply by the counters. Okay, so that's the plan. So I hope that's clear if you were stuck on any of that. So let's look at this again. The probability that a counter will be taken at random from the bag will be red is 5 times the counter, it will be yellow. So when you have something like this, I like to do both of them. I'm going to put here x and 5x, and the other way around, 5x and x. Okay, which one matches this sentence? The probability that a counter taken at random from the bag would be red is 5 times. Or you can put a number down as well. Let's say one of them is 1, the other one will become 5. And then you just reverse it. Which number matches this sentence? You can see it's the bigger one. This matches it. This does not match it. So I hope that part is quite clear for you. So now we've got this. Now we can go on to finding the probability. So all of these added makes 1. 0.32 plus 0.2 plus 5x plus x equals to 1. So now I can simplify this. 0.32 plus that is 0.52. 5 and 1x is 6x equals to 1. Then I can take this away. So 6x equals to 1, take away 0.52. 6x equals to, let's use our calculator. The calculator paper, making sure we don't make any mistakes. And then opposite of times by 6 is divide by 6. So x equals to 0.08. Okay, so now I can put this into my table here. This is 0.08. And then I can just multiply that by 5. So 0.08 times by 5 gives me 0.4. So I've done my probabilities now. And then the last step is I want to find the number of yellow counters. So probability of yellow is 0.08. So the number equals 0.08 times by 300. And then just put that into my calculator. That gives me 24. Okay, so I hope you got the answer there as well. Let's carry on adding that to our tally. So that's 3 marks. Let me just do this here. 1, 2, 3. So I've got 5, 10, 15, 24 marks. I am 3 marks away from banking that grade 5. All right, let's go to the next question. Question 9. All right, so question 9 is a very problem-solving question, so it's definitely worth doing. It's worth 5 marks, so 5 marks. Off you go. Just checking chat. Is this 3D trigonometry? No, this is not 3D. Not yet. This is question 9. All right, if you need more time, have a press pause. When you're ready, you can press play. So question 9, let's look at this. The diagram shows a prism. So this is a prism. So a prism is a 2D shape multiplied by, or going into detail. Let me restart. Question 9. The diagram shows a prism. So we've got this 3D object here. You can see there's an area and a length. The cross section of the prism has exactly one line of symmetry. So there's one line of symmetry here. Where I've put the pen now, that's your line of symmetry. That's your one line of symmetry. Work out the volume of the prism. So we need to work out the volume of the prism and give your answer to 3 significant figures. So really we can just delete that line and we just need to focus on what we need to do here. So I am going to split this shape up. So we can split up the shape, split up shape. So you can see here I've got a rectangle and a triangle. So let's do that. So you've got 10 and 12. And then I need more space for this. So I am going to, actually let me just draw it here. I can always draw it twice. Okay, so that's my first thing. The next thing I have got is, so I'm going to work out the areas of these, add them, and then I'm going to multiply by this length. That's how I will get my volume. So I need to work out the area of the rectangle. Step 3 is work out the area of this triangle. Area of a triangle is half. Oops, let me write that down. Triangle is half times base times height, or base times height divided by 2. Now we need to work out the height of this. If you split this shape up, you can see this is a right angle triangle. Done it the wrong way round, should be this way. This is 40. So what is this? This is a right angle triangle and it's got an angle. So it's not Pythagoras' theorem, this is trigonometry. So if you like, this is step 4, which is trigonometry. How do I find trigonometry? I start from my right angle. Opposite that is my hypotenuse. Why am I doing this? I forgot to add label the sides. I need to label the sides, which is from the right angle, I find my hypotenuse. From the angle, I find my opposite. And then the missing one, remaining one is my adjacent. And so from there, I can then do SOHCAHTOA. Step 5 is SOHCAHTOA. And then after I do that, that will be part of my area. And then I add these areas together. Step 6, add areas. And then multiply by the length to give me my volume. So there's a lot going on in this question. I've broken things down quite a bit. So let's get started with this. So we've split up the shape. Let's look at the area of the rectangle. So that's just going to be 10 times 12. Gives us 120 centimeters squared. Now we need to look at this. So looking at the triangle, opposite the right angle is my hypotenuse. I need to label these sides. So if all of this is 10, what's half of this going to be? Half of this is going to be 5. So this is my 5. I want to work out my height. So this is the thing that I'm looking for. This unknown is x. So this is opposite. So I'm using my opposite side. So I've got hypotenuse. I've got my opposite. And then my remaining side is my adjacent. So I've got remaining. Now I need to decide which one am I using. SOHCAHTOA. Now if you look at it, I'm not given anything for hypotenuse. I don't have a hypotenuse, so I can cross all the h's out, which means I'm left with tan. So I'm using tan. So tan 40 equals opposite, which is x, all over adjacent, which is 5. So now I can turn this into an equation. X is at the top, so it's tan 40 times by 5. So x is equal to, let's get our calculator out. Tan 40, close brackets, times by 5 gives me 4.195498156. Keep the digits, don't clear your calculator. I'm going to switch my lighting on a bit better. There we are. Okay, so keep the all the digits. We're going to continue with this. So I've got my height now. So now going back to the plan, area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So area triangle equals half times base. The base of the triangle was 10, and the height is what we just worked out now, 4.1954 ... So this is now, I use my number times by the base, which is 10, and then divide by 2 or times by 0.5, half. That gives me 20.9774 ... So that's the area of a triangle, and I now need to add this to my other area. So total area equals 20.9774 plus the other one was 120. So that gives me 140 point something, 0.9774 ... So let me just use my calculator, add 120. And now for the volume is I multiply it by the length. So volume equals this, 140.97 ... multiplied by 20. So my volume equals, so times this by 20, 2819.5498. And so that's my volume. So I've gone through all the different steps, split the shape up, work out the area of the rectangle, then the triangle. To work out the triangle, I needed to use trigonometry, which was SOHCAHTOA. From SOHCAHTOA, I got my height. Then I used the formula for the triangle. Then I added the areas, multiplied it by the length. And then the question says, give your answer to 3 significant figures, 1, 2, 3. So I'm rounding the 9 up, so it becomes 2820. That place value needs to be added, so that's 2820 rather, and the units are centimeter cubed. So that is worth a good chunk of marks there, so that's worth 5 marks. Okay, now because of this rounding, I didn't clear my answer. I think in the mark scheme, it has a range 2810 to 2820. If you get anything between that, you are getting the full marks. So 5 marks added to our tally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 29 marks. We've banked a grade 5. So we now need another 9 marks to get to our grade 6. All right, so I hope that makes sense and you got that. And we've got quite a few people joining. If you are here, then do like the video and share it with friends who might benefit. Let's look at question 10. Question 10 is worth 2 marks. Off you go. All right, if you need more time, press pause. So the question is question 10. A person's heart beats approximately 10 to the power 5 times each day. A person lives for approximately 81 years. Work out an estimate for the number of times a person's heart beats in their lifetime Give your answer in standard form, correct to 3 significant figures. So let's look at the key information. You've got 10 to the power 5 for each day. And then a person lives for 81 years. Work out an estimate for the number of times a person's heart beats in their lifetime. Give your answer in standard form, correct to 2 significant figures. So we've got like problem solving going on. So you could probably do this many ways. The way I am going to do it is this is each day. So step 1, the heartbeat's approximately that. So I need to convert from day into years. Day into years. Okay, after I've done days into years, I am going to then have to look at standard form. Now this is converting from days into years. It seems easy, but it's a bit tricky. And then check for standard form. And it does have the word estimate there, so we could at one point or another round. So first of all, let's convert the days. So how many days are there in a year? There are 365 days in a year. So I've got a person's heart beats approximately 10 to the power 5 times each day. So I've got 10 to the power 5 times by 365 days in a year. And the person lives for 81 years. So I'm going to multiply that by 81. Okay. And I can put that into my calculator. Ten to the power 5 times 365, times 365 times 81. That gives me a big number, 29565, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. Now I can add my commas, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And so I want this to 2 significant figures. So this is my first digit, second digit. This is my decider. So 5 will round up, so it becomes 29 becomes 30 if you like. All the other digits are 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need to put this in standard form. So, and it asks for 2 figures. So 3.0 times 10 to the power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Now, because along the way of this working out, you can do rounding, estimating. The marks, you can have an answer of 2.8 times 10 to the power 9 to 4.0 times 10 to the power 9. So if you have anything in between that, you are okay. So the key thing to highlight is you need to have this 2 significant figures, so 2.8, 3.1, something like that, and then a power of 10. Hope that's clear. So that question is worth 2 marks. Let's go to part B. I'll give you a few moments to try that. Okay, if you need more time, press pause. Question 10, part B. 2 times 10 to the power 12 red blood cells have a total mass of 90 grams. Work out the average mass of 1 red blood cell. Give your answer in standard form. Okay, so I need to, step 1 is to work out what goes where. So let me just first of all write this out. 2 times 10 to the power 12. Red blood cells have a total mass of 90 grams. work out the average mass of one red blood cell. So this is one blood cell, so this will go under here. 2 times 10 red blood cells, one red blood cell. So you can now see just by putting it in the right place what I need to do. So how do I get to 1? It's the exact same number. So I'm going to be dividing by 2 times 10 to the power 12. And the same thing goes here. Divide by 2 times 10 to the power 12. And that will give me my, my answer. So 90 divided by 2 times 10 to the power 12. Can you see that? And then press equals button, gives me 4.5 times 10 to the power minus 11. Now the good thing is this is in standard form, so I don't need to worry about that. All right, so I did start writing out cells. So kind of what we'll do in my layout is step 1 would be my layout, and then step 2 is match one blood cell, one red blood cell to the layout, which is what I did, and then we divide and multiply as appropriate. All right, normally I write out the steps, got carried away there. All right, so question 10 is worth 4 marks. So let's add that to our tally. 1, 2, 3, 4 marks. So we got 25, 33 marks. We are 5 marks away from a grade 6. So well done. And the key thing now is if your target grade is 4 to 6, is trying to get some of these method marks. So even if you are struggling, it's about trying to get some of these method marks. All right, let's see. I think question 11 came up in paper 1 or paper 2, so I'm going to skip that. Question 12A hasn't come up, and I think it's very likely to come up, this topic. It's worth 3 marks. So press, we'll give you some time to do that. Off you go. Okay, if you need more time, press pause. And then when you're ready, press play. So question 12A, express x over x plus 2 plus 2x over x minus 4 as a single fraction in its simplest form. Now, before I do anything, this is similar to adding fractions. Adding fractions. So let's see how we add fractions. Let me make up some numbers. Let me use some prime numbers. 3 over 5 plus 7 over 11. What do? We look for the LCM. And so we would multiply the first fraction by 11. And we multiply the second fraction by the denominator of the first one. So we multiply it by 5. So that gives me 3 times 11 over 5 times 11. And then I would do 7 times 5 over 11 times 5. All right, I'm deliberately doing this because that will help us work this one out. Then you would, because the denominators are the same, you just have 11 times 5, and then you add the numerators together. So that would be 33 plus 7 times 5 is 35. So I've just made this up just to kind of get us to see what we're going to do. So this is what we're going to do here. So step 1 is multiply by the denominators. So first term, multiply the denominator of the second term. Step 2 is to multiply the second term by the denominator of the first term. Okay, once we do that, then we can, this bit here, simplify. Step 3 is simplify the numerator. And then hopefully that will bring us to our final answer. So it's simple steps, but I think it will be quite complicated. All right, so the first term is x plus x over x plus 2 multiplied by the denominator of the second term. So that's going to be times by x minus 4. So that gives me x bracket x minus 4 all over x plus 2 x minus 4. Second step is, step 2 is second term. So this one, 2x x minus 4 multiply denominator of the first term. So we'll multiply all of this by x plus 2. So this is 2x x plus 2 all over x minus 4 x plus 2. Okay, so that's that, and don't forget the adding in the middle. Okay, so now the denominators are the same, so I can make this x plus 2 x minus 4, so a bit like this part here. And now I have to work this out, so simplifying the numerator. So I've got to multiply this out, expand the brackets. X times x is x squared. X times minus 4 is minus 4x. Now it's good, it's positive, so I don't need to worry about any signs. 2x times x is 2x squared, so plus 2x squared. 2x times 2 is 4x. Okay, so now I need to simplify my numerator. Step 3, x squared and x squared there. So x squared plus 2x squared is 3x squared. And then I've got minus 4x plus 4x. They cancel out. So that's quite handy. What's happening with my lighting today? All right, so the plus minus 4x and the plus 4x cancel out. So it's x plus 2 x minus 4. That's it. So quite a lot of work there. Lots of little niggling bits happening, but that is 3 marks. So I hope you got that correct. So let's add that to our tally. 1, 2, 3. So we've got 25, 35, 36, and we are 2 marks away from a grade 6 now. All right, question 12, part B came up in the exam, so we're going to skip that. Well spotted, thank you for the comment. Right, the next one, again, regions came up today, or was it yesterday? Yep, came up yesterday, so we're going to skip that. Skipping this again. Circle theorem proof came out, and circle theorem by itself hasn't. So I feel like this topic could come. It's worth 4 marks, so I think we should spend a little bit of time doing it. So I'm going to ask you to do this. All right, I'll give you a bit of time. Off you go. Okay, so let's look at this. So question 14, we've got this image point diagram. Points B, D, E, and F lie on a circle. So B, D, E, F, that's a circle. ABC is a tangent to the circle at B, so we've got that. Find the size of angle ABD. ABD is this angle here, which we need to work out. You must give a reason for each stage of your working. So if you've been going through these live sessions, the first thing I say about circle theorems is simplify. So we want to simplify this as many times as we can, and then kind of use our rules. And then it's like a little game. Different things will kind of map out. One thing will connect to another. All right, so what circle theorems can you see here? So one circle theorem that I can see is cyclic quadrilateral. And this does say, this question says, must give a reason for each stage of your working out. So we need to do that. See, this is cyclic quadrilateral, which makes 180. So if this is 100, The other one must be 180 minus 100, which gives us 80. So this is 80. It's not very clear. Can you see another circle theorem here? There is another one, which is our angle segment theorem. Angle segment theorem. So we have, if this is 40, this angle has to be 40. All right, can you now see what's happening here? This is now a straight line. So if this is 40, that's 40, and we've seen this is 80. So this is angles on a straight line equal 180. And so this is now quite a straightforward calculation. 180 minus 80 minus 40, which gives us 180 take away 80 is 100, take away 40 is 60. So that's quite a nice, simple answer in the end. So what looked very, very complicated, because of this simplify strategy and using our rules, became quite easy. And if you found this video useful, share it with your friends. So let's put that down. This is worth 4 marks. So let's add that to our tally, and we've gone over the hour mark. 1, 2, 3, 4 marks. So we've got 40 marks we've banked. So we've got our grade 6. So well done. The key thing here, just to add, try and put some form of circle theorem there. Just by identifying a cyclic quadrilateral or an angle segment theorem, you get a method mark. So if you can't get all 4 marks, you'll get at least 1 mark just by doing that. So again, if your target grade is 4, 5, 6, getting 1 mark here, 1 mark there, that's how you will easily get to your target grade. Question 15, I believe, came up in paper 1 or 2. Skip that. Question 16, I think, came up as well, so we can skip that question. I think we're on the hour mark, so I think I need to end this session. So let's, I haven't covered this in any of our sessions, so let's look at what we have. So I think that will be our last question for today. This looks quite quick, actually, so I think we can do that question. And the others look like they're going to be quite time consuming. So we will do 2 more questions, I think, and then we will end today's session. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe so that you get notification of the live lessons. I will go through other papers, hopefully, inshallah. This is worth 4 marks. So off you go. All right, if you need more time, then naturally press pause, and when you're ready, you can press play for the answer. I'm going to make a start, so let's go. Question 18, the diagram shows a cube, so this is our cube. AH equals to 11.3 centimeter, correct to the nearest millimeter. Calculate the lower bound for the length of an edge of the cube. You must show all your working. So what is AH? AH is from here all the way to there, AH. So that's what we're looking at. So we've got a few things going on in this question. AH is 11.3 to the nearest millimeter. This tells me its bounds. AH, this tells me it's 3D trigonometry, 3D Pythagoras' theorem. Okay, so I think this could come up, even though bounds I think came up, but because it's a problem-solving type of question, I think we should do it. So how do we do this? So I am going to, step 1, identify this bound. That's going to be bounds. Step 2 is I'm going to apply 3D Pythagoras' theorem. Now, if you think about it, that's the longest side, so we have to work backwards. Okay, so let's do step one. Step one, like error intervals, use that framework, 11.3 to the nearest millimeter. So this is centimeter. So the next one will be 11.4 centimeters because it's to the nearest millimeter. So use this framework, the next number, the one before, and then what's in between. So 11.4, 11.3, the one below that will be 11.2. What's in between these two? 11.25. What's in between these two is 11.35. Now again, if your target grade is 4 to 6, these are the easy marks that you can bank. So just by doing that, you've got 1 mark. Yes, maybe you can't get 4 marks, but you've got that 1 mark. Okay, so now this tells me my bounds. So I'm interested in the lower bounds. So step 1, I've got lower bounds. Step 1 is done. Now I need to apply Pythagoras' theorem in 3D mode. So this is a cube, which means all lengths are the same. So this is 11.25. So because it's 3D shape, it's going to be a squared, or the longest side, let's call it x squared, is going to be the other side's a squared plus b squared plus c squared. So here, in other words, it's going to be 11.25 squared plus, what am I doing? I'm going backwards, so I'm doing it wrong. This is my longest side, 11.25. All right, so I don't know what these lengths are. These are unknowns. So 11.25 squared equals to my unknowns, x squared plus x squared plus x squared. So this is 3 lots of x squared, so 11.25 squared equals to 3x squared. And now I can go backwards. I can divide by 3. 11.25 squared divided by 3 gives me x squared, and then I can do the square root of that. So all of that square rooted, 11.25 squared all over 3. Okay, and then we can put that into our calculator. Square rooted 11.25 squared divided by 3 gives me 6.49519 ... Read the question, calculate the lower bound. You must show you're working out. It doesn't give us anything, so the rule of thumb is 3 significant figures. So x equals to 6.49. All right, so let's, this is a kind of problem solving question. This is why I thought I want to go through this, because it gets us thinking about different things. So we've got bounds mixed with 3D Pythagoras' theorem. So I think 3D Pythagoras' theorem, it could come up. It's a 50-50 topic. All right, that is worth 4 marks. So let's add that to our tally. So let's add that to our tally, 4 marks, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll finish off our session with the last one. We've gone way over the hour mark, so let's do this last one. All right, let me go through this. So question 20, here is a list of 5 numbers. 98 to the power 53, 64, 73, 88, 91. Find the lowest common multiple of these 5 numbers. Now, one of the things with these kind of, so we need lowest common multiple. One of the things I keep saying is simplify. So can I simplify this? And then step 2 is to spot a pattern, if I can. maybe I might not even need step 2, but let me look at these. They're all the same. The base is the same. So these are going to be massive numbers. So let me simplify. The simplest number I can do is 2. Okay, let's say 2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 4, 2 to the power 5. What is 2 to the power 3? Is 2 times 2 times 2. 2 to the power 4 is 2 multiplied by itself 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 2 to the power 5 is just 5, 2 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So that's that. We've got that. Now, when we do LCM, if you remember the Venn diagrams, what do? We multiply everything together. So LCM is everything multiplied. If I look at these numbers, which one is the LCM? The LCM is everything multiplied. In other words, it's this one here, which is 2 to the power 5. Because they're all the same, I just look for the biggest power. So that means my LCM of all of these is the one with the biggest power. So 53, 64, 73, 88, 91. So 98 to the power 91. All right, so it's actually quite simple. It looks really hard, complicated, but it's quite simple. So if you found this useful, share this with your friends. And I will do another live sessions. Subscribe to the channel so you get live feeds. Thank you for joining. I do appreciate you all joining, and all the best for your revision. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Assalamu alaikum. Take care.